Hey folks, Jeremy with Whitetail Dreams. Today we're out in Pierce County, Wisconsin. We've got an incredible 38-acre property. It was saved from surely being developed and having multiple houses put in here. We're with our friend and client, seller, Mr. Michael Miller. Mike's gonna take us through this incredible property and everything he's done, from putting in the driveway to the already set up build site, and tell us a little bit of why he loves this property so much.
I had a house that I built myself with my sons, and we were pretty isolated, but it got surrounded by neighbors, and I decided to look for a property like this, and spent a lot of time looking, and eventually found this property. It was 3 parcels. It had originally been 1 and split into 3, but the prior owners were looking to sell it as 1 property. It meant a lot to them to have it reunited, and we worked out a deal, and I bought it. When I first walked into this, I knew the contours. I'd looked at the contour maps, and I could see there are a couple different places that are ideal sites, but this one really spoke to me. I walked in, followed the high points, came to where we're standing now, and I could see some of the view, but I could also recognize that this had great potential for a beautiful site. When we stand here in the winter, you can see this winter character behind us. That's a great view. You know, you're looking off 1.5 miles in the distance, and behind us is the clearing that I cleared for that build site. So it'll take advantage of these views in the winter. In the summer, the character is completely different. These trees are all leafed out. You're situated in a clearing, and you feel like it's just you. It's just you in this beautiful spot.
Well, you've done a great job, from opening it up so that you can get southern exposure to picking up this beautiful view, and you're set up with an exposed basement, potentially a walkout with a nice area here out on this point for gathering time with your friends and family.
Absolutely. Summertime, yeah. I think this point is a spot for outdoor gathering, fire pit, picnic table, put your feet up. The spot behind us, I had envisioned a 2-story home and had it oriented so we could have a solar array on the roof, and it does that. That design would have. There's any number of designs that would fit onto this. I'm a retired architect, so I have a bit of a feel for what it could be, and there's almost unlimited potential for siting a house on this for someone's dreams.
Yeah, and at this point, you're looking at selling it as a whole piece? I
am. I think this is prime whitetail hunting land. The locals call this the funnel, and it's because there are deer crossing from east to west. They're crossing north to south. I think they're feeding on the lowlands coming up on top of this for bedding. There's some benches on some of these ridges that they can see a long ways.
Yeah.
It's not easy hunting, I will say that, but it's great hunting.
Well, I think that's the fun of it, right? You can see a long ways, you got the timber, you know the deer are laying out on these points, but yet they're transitioning to destination food on both the north, the east, and even your west at this point. Right. And with southern access, it really does make it at least fun to sit back and watch what these deer are doing.
It does. You know, when I was coming in here, I cleared the land myself, and my brother helped me. But we worked for quite a bit of a summer clearing land, and when we would come in, drive in, once we got a driveway cut in, almost every day we would surprise deer in a thicket that's a little bit to the west of here.
Yeah.
Almost every day they would get up and take off.
Well, imagine having your house out here and just deer coming and bedding by the house. I mean, yeah. I see what you were doing here with this big opening, and we certainly understand that your motivation to sell comes from the death of your late wife, and our condolences for that. And we're going to do our best to keep this all together for you.
Well, I appreciate it.
Well, tell me a little bit, just had a question. I think people will sometimes give us input, like questions like, what do we need to know from the seller? What's your favorite part about this property?
Oh my, that's hard to answer because I have a lot of favorite parts. I just think the character of what's here. There are trees here that are 150 years old. There's one tree that's got one limb up to 40 feet. That limb is at about 25 feet above ground. And one of the people that knew this property wanted me to sell it to him as a veneer log. And I said, no, that's the grandfather tree here.
Yeah.
And, you know, I saw that tree before I cut for the build site. There were several trees close to that, and I didn't want to cut them, but I had difficulty getting a percolation site out to pass a soil evaluations test for a septic system.
Yeah.
This was one of two places. When I came in here and walked in originally, it was almost like walking into a path to a cathedral. There was a canopy overhead with light from above, and those big old trees looked like the columns of Agatha Cathedral. And that was it.
Yeah.
This was the spot.
It is definitely a spot. When you walked me in here the first time, it is absolutely amazing. So why don't we go for a walk? You show me some of these cool spots where these whitetail are living, and
great.
Well, you guys can tag along, and we'll do some more video. Sorry for the long video, but I felt it was important to bring this particular part of the property and part of the story to any potential buyer, so that you can see the historic value to this property and the true story.
We're at one of the alternate bill sites. This could have been one. It passed a perk test down below. Personally, I would build probably right in this area. There will be some hill drainage, but you could build up the soil so that everything drained around it. There's a drainage ditch to that side. That's also one of the traffic routes for whitetails coming up in and out of here. They can go up that ravine and be hidden. But this is a nice site. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot to be said for this site. The views are going to be there summer and winter off to the east. There's an easement that comes in from the east, wraps around this, comes through the middle of the field. It's a long easement, but it's flat. It'd be easy to maintain. It's got a lot going for it. I just think that the premium build site is at the top of the hill.
We're down in the draw, and this is one of the first things that when we started talking about deer that I was drawn to, and started pointing out these little benches and places these deer can hide. And we got up there, and of course you saw the rubs and the scrapes and all the bedding and stuff. But you had told me a story of a couple of boomers that had come off here over the years.
Yeah, there are 2 bucks registered in Boone and Crockett. One of them is under Dodge. That's the name of one of the prior owners, and I'm not sure what the other one was. That's what I've been told by the previous owners, that 2 registered bucks have come out of this. And I can believe it.
Well, you can see it, you know, right now we can see through this, but there's a live spring there that runs year round. You got all the beds up in the hills. You got room for rising thermal, dropping thermal. I mean, it's definitely a deer mecca. This is where they live, and has it been difficult to hunt? Have you know?
It is. As you indicated, there's rising thermals. They can smell you. The wind does swirl some too, so it's not easy. An elevated stand, the higher you get, obviously, the better. But I saw a buck that came up out of a draw to the other side of this, and that buck had a rack like this, and it was a heart-thumping moment, without a doubt. I mean, and you live for that.
That's what this is all about, no doubt.
Not, seeing a buck like that, it's invigorating. That's not a strong enough word for it. If you're a whitetail hunter, seeing that, it's not enough, but it's close to it.
Yeah. Well, as flatlanders, you know, our hunt, there's not the hills like that here, but I certainly see how this can be amazing. And with this thick brush, you can see, you know, this acts almost like a creek, a draw. That wind is turbulent in these draws like that, and get close to these or just get off them a little bit. We saw some where they're covering over the top of the head of this, where they're crossing over. So I see some stands there. So I know you've seen some deer in those spots.
We have. I have some friends that have hunted here. My wife passed, and I spent 2.5 years in primary care for her, and I didn't hunt for most of that time.
Oh boy.
It was not easy. So I had some very close friends, allowed them to hunt here, and they've had some success. It's been thrilling for them. It's been frustrating at times because you can see what these draws, ravines are alike, and the deer will travel through these, especially in hunting season, because they can remain hidden, and they know it, especially the older, wiser bucks.
For sure.
They know the escape routes, but there's a well-traveled ravine just to the northwest of here, and you'll see that big buck came up out of that ravine, and I only had about 3 to 4 seconds where I could see him and draw, and then he was gone. 2 leaps and he was out of sight.
Those are the best stories, right?
It's great. I loved it.
Well, let's go check it out. All right, we're down into the north end of the property, and as you can see, a lot of open area, big timber. But an important feature is you come off of, there's some bedding here, and this is that big cut that Mike was talking about. And you can see behind us now this feature where these deer are coming down, and at the bottom of it is where we found this deadhead here, and an incredible deadhead. But these are the things that you're looking for when you're walking a property, is these little anomalies, and you wouldn't be able to see it necessarily if it's green, but that's why it's important to get out and scout in the wintertime and buying properties in the wintertime so you can see what these deer are doing and how they're using these properties and funneling into the food sources. As you can see, we're now in the north end, but we're working our way over to the west. This is that big draw that Mike was talking about, and you can tell those deer are working right out to that western field. So when you're walking a property and you see these flat faces, these sort of like old roads, these deer are gonna use these in the fall, but they also use them because the air typically spins here with a northwesterly wind. It's coming in here and that air is turning, and then add the thermals to it, makes it super, super easy for deer to catch you here, but they can be super productive if you can get a good wind and consistent thermal. So be sure you're looking for those pieces as well.